18 minutes to 5. We're going to bring you a little bit more now on the news that David Cameron says he's seriously concerned by reports that Spain is considering introducing fees at the border with Gibraltar and closing its airspace to planes using the airport on the British territory. We can talk now to our diplomatic correspondent Bridget Kendall here. It was called North Korean-like tactics by the Chief Minister this morning. But in practical terms, Bridget, what can they actually do? What are they doing?
This does sound very serious when it's put like that, doesn't it? And certainly the Gibraltar Chief Minister this morning, he called it sabre rattling, was rattling a bit of rhetoric himself. But now we've had from Downing Street that David Cameron is seriously concerned, and they're trying to get in contact with the Spanish government to find out exactly what they mean. But all this has come about because this weekend the Spanish Foreign Minister gave an interview to a Spanish paper where he was very exercised about an incident a couple of weeks ago when the Gibraltar government dropped some concrete blocks into the bay of Gibraltar to set up an artificial reef to help marine life. The Spanish said this got in the way of their fishing boats. Then you'll remember
that's illegal.
They dispute the waters there. So the Gibraltarians said, no, this is our marine area. The Spanish say, no, it's our fishing area. And the result of that was they tightened up restrictions between the British colony and the Spanish mainland. And you may remember those queues a weekend ago, people waiting 6 hours in the blistering heat. And so what we had this weekend, not so many traffic queues, I understand they're about 2 hours long, but instead this interview from the Spanish Foreign Minister in which he said, the party's over and we can't go on like this, and maybe we need to tighten up restrictions in a more formal way. And he laid out 3 measures, possibly €50 fee for every vehicle going in and out of Gibraltar. Now imagine, lots of people work in Gibraltar and live in Spain or the other way around. Many tourists.
It's a lot, that.
It's a lot of money.
It's not a toll, is it?
This is just a mention in a newspaper article, so who knows what the fine print would be. But the other 2 measures were looking more closely at the tax regime for Gibraltar, people who have property in Spain, were they paying enough tax and so forth. And the third measure, which I imagine is the one that's really made the British government look at this seriously, is the idea that planes coming directly into Gibraltar Airport, they might not be able to go via Spanish airspace. In other words, closing Spanish airspace to flights to Gibraltar. But it's not clear whether this is really going to be policy and is something the Spanish government want to go ahead with, or whether it is indeed, as the Gibraltar Chief Minister said this morning, a bit of sabre rattling in the middle of a hot summer when the dialogue that should be there is broken down and they've got very bad tempered with each other. And the point of clash at the moment, although the dispute over Gibraltar sovereignty has been going on for decades, in fact 300 years since Britain's had sovereignty of the Rock of Gibraltar. But the dispute this summer has all been about the water, these territorial waters, and that seems to be something which is really irritating the Spanish, and the Gibraltar government is digging in its heels too. So watch out.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, exactly.
There's a lot more of August to go, isn't there? Bridget, thanks very much indeed.